every week. But you know, if there's a man that can talk to you and he can get the best out of you, and you're not doing stuff and he's doing stuff, it is what it is. Kind of right on cue with what we've been talking about. And I don't know if this is real because Ramsdale has played 4 games. He's been benched for 1. Obviously, if Raya holds on to that shirt, but in true media fashion, apparently Aaron Ramsdale is being monitored by rival clubs after being dropped for David Raya by Mikel Arteta during their win at Everton, with Chelsea and Bayern keeping tabs on the England shot stopper. I wouldn't like to see go Chelsea, but there's Sanchez. You'd reckon he could rob his spot, but there'd still be 2 kind of keepers. Bayern Munich, I'm not too sure. What have you lot made of this? Despite the fact of the man just signed a new deal, now he's uncertain and things like that. Like, what do you lot make of this? Right on cue from the Daily Mail, as you lot can see.
Air. I can't even lie to you. I think that's air, bro.
I think it's air as well. But is it though? Like, is it? I think it's nonsense. But if he's on the bench for 10 games, where are we at with it?
There's space for speculation in it, but really and truly,
that's it.
I think if there's any. Nah, man, I'm not really with all of that. I can't even lie.
I mean, Arteta just spoke about needing 2, but for argument's sake, I know Aaron Ramsdale, for all his faults, I do like him. I think he is a quality keeper, and I think he's one that people are very quick to attack him when he makes a mistake. But when he saves us, and, you know, let's just say we won a tricky 2-1 away from home. Ramsdale's conceded, but he's made enough saves. Saka and someone else scores the winner. Ramsdale gets lost in the talking points. And even though you look at how many great saves the man's made, but for argument's sake, though, 60 million offer. Not to say it's going to come anytime soon, but if you get 60 million, or better yet, in excess of 60 million, are we pulling the trigger?
Do you know what? It's a very good question, because the things might change very quickly. Things can change quickly in football. The scenario might look very different. We might be talking about David Raya being the one that we're not going to be signing, or if we're going to be signing in to sell him straight away. But with that, if Arsenal find a replacement and find someone who they deem as good enough or better, I'm happy to sell. And this goes for any player bar 2, Saliba and Saka. Because the only reason I don't say those 2, because I don't think there's anyone better in the world at this moment in those areas. I'm even throwing in.
Odegaard and Martinelli can't be thrown into that realm now.
I was thinking the same thing.
There's a couple man that need a bit more hay-lots, T. You're being selfish still.
The reason why is because I don't mind being ruthless if it means that we improve, if it means that we get someone who's better. Trust me, as fans, yes, we build this affinity with the players and we have this emotional connection and tie. We would be, if we got someone better, you'd soon forget about it. Look, Manchester City aren't crying for Gundogan.
No, I definitely hear that, yeah. But you know what it is as well. Like you also have to remember what certain players have done, because certain players have a lot of what's the word? Like lot in the bank, innit? Like to say like performances wise, Ramsdale's got like a lot to say. Yeah, like I've done this.
Credit in the bank.
Time. Yeah, credit in the bank. That's what I meant to say. Sorry. Whereas like, yeah, we know Raya's a great keeper. We've seen the stats. We've seen him have one performance, but you can't tell me for one performance like it's okay to just say, yeah, cool, Ramsdale can go. Do you get what I mean? This has got to be like over a period of time. We've seen enough sample of Raya, enough sample of Ramsdale to say, yeah, cool, this is what we get from this one, so we get from this one, weigh up your options and then say, yeah, cool, this one's gone safe. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't think that, like, I do hear being ruthless, like, because end of the day, that's how we've even got here in the first place, because really and truly, we never thought Aubameyang would go out how he went out. Do you get what I'm saying? And that was the guy for us. Do you get what I'm saying? But we're now here. We're in a better position. The team is now flourishing, and it's like, I mean, I'm here for them decisions if it makes sense. Do you get what I mean? It's got to make sense for it to. At the end of the day, bro, the grass ain't always greener. You could say, yeah, we know this level of players going to come in, but you don't know the level of performance he's going to provide for you. Whereas you know someone that's got the achievements, not necessarily achievements of Ramsdale, because he's not necessarily achieved nothing, but the performances of Ramsdale where he's got us so far. Yeah, it's you get what I mean. It's like
let's say this now sounds
your options, isn't it?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Let's say this now, Sandro and DG. Yeah. If we sell Ramsdale and that gives us funds to go and buy whatever striker you man want in the the club, as well as bolstering on that right hand side and providing more competition for Saka or someone that can come in if Saka, give him a rest and whatnot. And we still have David Raya performing at a high level, and someone who's a second choice goalkeeper who's maybe not quite at it, but we improve the squad as a whole. That's how I look at how Manchester City operate.
I need to see the keeper, but it have to be someone like on the Ortega thing. Then I'd say because obviously I can't be saying we need to be ruthless. Every player's got a price. If Ramsdale says he wants to cut and Arteta thinks it makes sense, obviously we've signed him to a new deal, and he's 25, so there's a lot of resale value. Do what needs to be done. It makes sense why Chelsea and Bayern would be monitoring the situation and seeing how this develops. But I agree with Sandro. I think the sample size is kind of small because many fans, for what it's worth, I actually want Raya to get a run in the side, because when Ramsdale gets that now, his run, you're going to want to hold on to your shirt for a while, really, because even when you look at when Ramsdale got the shirt off Leno, in the interview, he says, I got it sooner than I thought, sort of thing. And we all know Matt Turner, goalkeeper union, all of that stuff. Matt Turner were at levels. You've got a Spanish international, you're an English international, fight it out, sort of thing. If he wanted to cut. If it's a means to an end, do it. But I just feel like Arteta has just shown us what having a good squad could do, really. And I want to see it. And Ramsdale doesn't strike me that someone that is going to try and leave in January. I know there's a Euros. I know things can change, but Ramsdale's very mature. He's had to sit on the bench for England. He's not always been first choice at previous clubs. He didn't actually start his initial life at Arsenal. What, did he not get his first start at like West Brom when we was down in the trenches? So I wouldn't pull the plug on anyone in January. I wouldn't get rid of Ramsdale in January. There's rumors around Partey going in January. I wouldn't really do any of that, at least until the end of the season. We're going to have to monitor it, really. And, with Raya, I do genuinely feel a lot of fans are going to overgas it. And when he makes that same mistake, them same fans that do too much, they're going to draw him out and say Ramsdale this and that. But that's nothing isolated to those players or any specific fans here. That's just football in general. I'm all for it if there's a means to an end. Unsellable players for me. I don't think there are unsellable players in football or at Arsenal because everyone's got a price tag. But if unless you're talking 100+ million to begin a conversation for the Sakas, the Martinellis, the Salibas, the Odegaards, anyone that kind of falls short, I'm kind of on it. And again, I can't be preaching, let the manager make difficult decisions if we're going to get scared, because Ramsdale might be a guy that helps us win 1 Premier League, but he might not be a guy that can help us like win 2, 3, 4, just like how players have been here to help us get top 4. They might not be of that, like Tierney, for example. You're not part of the evolution. I don't quite agree with that with Ramsdale, but you've been living a fairy tale starting week in, week out for Arsenal. Now you've got to hold on to your shirt. Again, we might be sitting here and saying this about Benjamin White or Zinchenko had Timber have been fit, which is bad news for either or. So I'm not sure, man, but I wouldn't let Ramsdale go anytime soon. Unless the man says, Gaffer, I want to cut. I don't know, man. But to answer your question, maybe, if the money makes sense, isn't it? I can't say anything.
And that's it. And you spoke about if the players desire. I agree. I don't think he will show a desire to leave in January. But think about this, guys. Did it make sense when we initially bought Ramsdale in the first place? When we had Leno? Did it make sense when Manchester City got rid of Cancelo? I know that he left for different reasons, but you're talking about
you've got to make these mad choices, man.
Exactly. Yeah. Manchester City improved on the pitch, not as on that sense, and we improved without Aubameyang. And these are players that. And Cancelo and Aubameyang, that was so integral to whatever the level, whatever we was at a lower level. But Cancelo in Manchester City winning Premier Leagues, being their creative outlet alongside Kevin.
He was one of the top. Well, he was heralded as one of the best fullbacks, if not the best right-sided fullback when he left. So do you know what it is? As long as there's a method to the madness, which so far Arteta has shown me is the thing, is if there's a contingency plan, if it's a calculated decision, then me as an ignorant fan, I might look at it like, oh, what's going on here, bro? There's a method to the madness. The only thing that decides if it works is time, innit? Like right now, the only question mark I have ever had about Mikel Arteta of significance is right now Kai Havertz and previously Willian and Marie, really, because them things there didn't really make sense. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Ramsdale can't be an idiot. Like he must have sat both keepers down and said, listen, may the best man win. Ramsdale, it's your shirt